Everybody, doing Black Ink Crew Chicago season 1 episode 1. So I'll get into it and we'll just speak about the cast, and talk about each of them. It starts off with Ryan. He's the owner of 9 Mag Tattoo Studio in Chicago, and Ryan is cute. He has a son. You gonna say hi? He has a son with the mother of his child, Rachel. She was his high school sweetheart. They broke up due to infidelity or whatever. So Rachel was introduced and she explained the same thing. They broke up due to infidelity. Say hi. Alright, you gotta move back. They broke up due to infidelity and whatnot because they had their child really young, so Ryan wasn't ready to be a dad or anything. So, when they broke up, she went and she, got with another guy who was a, big name artist, she said, and she got pregnant by him, and he wasn't supportive at all of the pregnancy, so, he left her, and, Ryan took in that child as his own, and everybody thinks that Ryan and Rachel just need to be together. So, we meet Kat. Kat is the only female tattoo artist there. A lot of guys come there just to, she's eye candy, So they come there just to see her. She brings in a lot of male clientele. But this one guy in particular on this episode was talking to Kat like real inappropriate. So the guys overheard him and they grabbed him out his seat and threw him out the door. So Kat was like, speak to me first before you throw my client out. And they were like, so we just gonna let him disrespect you? And she was like, no, but I had it. He was like, okay, he disrespected you and made you feel uncomfortable, right? And she's like, yeah. He's like, okay, it was handled. So she was like, you could have escorted him out of there. They were like, he was escorted out of there. Technically speaking, he was. I mean, they threw him out, but the guy was trying to get macho with them. And he was a tiny dude compared to them big dudes in the shop. So, anyway, we meet Four. Four is a tattoo artist, but he's also a musician. He's really good with his tattoos. Like, he's trying to, be a tattoo artist, but also, getting good with his music. And his brother works for him. His brother's name is Don. And, Don is his assistant. Don has a young son named DJ. And the mother of his child, his girlfriend, Ashley, they all live together, whatever. And he said that when he became a father, the fact that he was having a baby, it didn't really hit him until it was time for his son to be born. And when his son was born, he said his son came out in silence, like he wasn't breathing. But then the doctors resuscitated him and told him that his baby was a miracle baby. So ever since then, he's been, say hi. He's been like, he's felt like, that was the best thing in the world, him becoming a father. So he lives with his son's mother and his girlfriend. But he says she rides him, like she stays on him or whatever because of his past and how he used to act. So, he was telling her, well, I have to go and make money. We have to set up for some party. And she's like, well, why do you always have to be at the tattoo shop? He said, well, if I don't make money, then, we don't have money for what we need or whatever. So just respect me as a man to get the money and don't worry. So, she has that female intuition where she suspects something else is up, but, she shrugs it off. So, we meet Charmaine. And Charmaine is like leave it. Get off of that. Charmaine is the manager at 9 Mag. And, she, I guess her and Don have like this flirtationship, and she was talking about Don and how he's sexy and all this other stuff, and she was saying you know, basically, well, Ryan said that she's obnoxious, you know, like she's the most obnoxious person that he knows or whatever. And, you know, I mean, Charmaine is a pretty girl, but it's going to be kind of sketchy with her and Dawn, but I'll get to that later. Danielle is a receptionist at Nine Mag. You know, she's like another, you know, basically another form of eye candy. You know, the fact that she's sitting in the front and her looks and her personality brings in clients. It attracts clientele or whatever. So, all of the ladies of Black Ink Crew Chicago are very, very pretty. We meet Van, who's a tattoo artist as well. But Van, to me, he seemed like he a security guard there too, because y'all saw how he grabbed that dude and threw him out the shop. I was like, okay, Van. But he's a tattoo artist as well. And, you know, they're all like a family or whatever. So, basically, a little bit of like Ryan's backstory is that his sister invested in his business, and then I think like the next day or a week or so later, she was killed. Now, what most people didn't catch on, especially me when I first saw it, what most people didn't catch on with his sister is that if you seen this past season of Basketball Wives LA that just went off, we were introduced to Malaysia's friend, Patrice Curry. Patrice Curry is the wife of Eddie Curry. Eddie Curry is a basketball player. Together they have 7 kids, one of whom is Eddie's child outside of their marriage. And he had another child with his mistress or his girlfriend, whoever she was at the time, named Nova. Nova is Ryan from Black Ink Crew Chicago's sister. Nova was murdered 6 years ago by her attorney. Her and her daughter were murdered. That was Eddie Curry's girlfriend, and Patrice Curry has Noah and Eddie's son Noah that she's looking to adopt since his mom passed away. Ain't that something? And I'm like, I know VH1 knew that was like a connection like with the two, because Basketball Wives just went off, Black Ink Chicago just premiered, so I'm pretty sure they put 2 and 2 together and was like, oh, that's a good storyline, or you know, that's a good connection to VH1, you know. So I was like, oh snap. The first person that brought it to my attention was It's Rocks. Follow her. She does reviews also. It's at It's Rocks or at For It's Rocks. You know, that's her name. That's on her social media handle. But yeah, she brought it to my attention. I was like, oh snap, you right. So I'm like, dang, this is a small world. But you know, I mean, it's really, really sad what happened to her and her daughter. Like, they didn't deserve that. And I remember hearing about it on Fatal Attraction, I think it was. I remember watching that episode on Fatal Attraction. And, I mean, she was so young, 24 years old. That's crazy. But, you know, Ryan just kept his promise to her that he's going to continue, like, he's going to build and he's going to do, he's going to make his and her dream come true. Like, he said, you know, my sister's blood is in this shop. My blood and my sister's blood is all in this shop. And I'm like, you know, that's deep. That's really deep. That's so sad. But, moving on, they had like some like party. I think like certain days they had like a 1-year anniversary party. That's what it was for Nine Mag. And while they were having the party or whatever, you know, Don and Charmaine start getting a little touchy-feely. Next thing you know, they went to the bathroom. Apparently they had sex. So when the girls meet up the next day, you know, they're talking about the Nine Mag party. And, you know, the girls ask, like, you know, what happened with you and Don? We saw that y'all disappeared for a while or whatever. And she was like, yeah, we disappeared. We just couldn't help ourselves. So Danielle was like, so did y'all have sex? She was like, yeah, we definitely had sex. It was really good. So Charmaine, in her mind, she's like, you know, well, I feel like me and Don are going to be dating. We're going to be in a relationship. And, you know, the girls are like, well, what about Don's baby mother? And Charmaine is like, well, I'm not really worried about her because he told me he's not involved with her like that. They're not together. She's just the mother of his child. So, you know, Charmaine is pretty confident that her and Don will be together. So while they're having like a little, you know, drunken party night, they drinking drinks or whatever, they start playing Fetty Wap and they tell Charmaine to twerk. So when she started twerking, Don came up behind her and they started dubbing together. So, you know, Don being a fool, he gonna pretend like he passing out and then got back up. So then while he was all on Charmaine, his baby mother walks in. And she went crazy. Who that bitch all on you? Like crazy. And I'm like, oh, Lord. So Charmaine is like, well, I'm not a bitch. My name is Charmaine. So then Ashley says, you know, her name was Ashley, his baby mother. She's like, well, can I speak to you or whatever? So her and Charmaine speak. And Charmaine is like, yeah, I'm not a bitch. My name is Charmaine. I don't like being called a bitch. And Ashley's like, well, when it comes to my man, you know, I call everybody bitches, hoes, whatever at that moment. And she's like, well, I didn't even know you guys were together. I just thought you were his son's mother. She said, no, we are together and we're still, you know, fucking or whatever. So I'm like, Dawn, it seemed like Dawn is going to be the Osh of this season. Because y'all know how, you know, Richard Duncan is on Black Ink Crew New York, where he's sleeping with all these women. And, you know, he got a crazy baby mama because Kathy crazy. So, you know, same with Don. Ashley crazy. So, Don might want to watch himself. As for, well, Four and Kat, they are attracted to each other, but they haven't done anything. Because Kat feels like, you know, all men want the same thing. And Four is, you know, attracted to her, but I don't think that he's like ready for a commitment type thing just yet. Same with Don. Don said that, you know, he loves his kid and he loves his baby mother, but he doesn't see himself being committed to Ashley forever. And I mean, it's understandable. I mean, just be upfront and honest. Don't lie to the girl and make her think that that she's your girlfriend when she's not. So, you know, I'm like, okay. But, I mean, that was basically the episode. I mean, it was like an introduction to the cast. I'm not going to lie. The cast look a whole lot better than some of the people on Black Ink Crew New York. Like, you know, I mean, we all say it. Like, everybody on Black Ink Crew New York, it's like they don't like wearing chapstick. But, I mean, you know, it's whatever. Like, the people in Chicago look a lot less gritty and rough than them in New York. And I mean, New York and Chicago are sister cities. So, I mean, we have a lot of similarities, but we have a lot of differences as well. But I mean, I like the cast and I think I'm going to like this season. The tattoo work looks a lot better too. Like, I liked how Ryan, did the I think it was like a Japanese I forgot what he called I forgot what it was called exactly, but he didn't use stencil, he just did it with freehand, and I thought that was really, really dope. So I'm gonna review this season. I think I'm gonna like it this season, so you know, I'll be talking about it weekly. So like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend, and I'll see you in the next video. Later.